Okay, this is the video for lesson 5.6, which is solving percent problems. Okay, so we've been learning about percents and how to convert them to fractions and how to convert fractions to percents, and now we're going to be learning how to find the percent of a number and how to find the whole. Okay, so when finding the percent of a number or finding the whole, we always need to change the percentage to a fraction. Okay, so that's the most important thing. That's the first thing you're going to do is change the percentage to a fraction. So if we have 45% and we need to change that to a fraction, we will have 45 over 100 because percents always go over 100. Okay, so this is what we would use. We would use 45 over 100. Now, to find the percent of a number, you can see that we have is above of equals percentage over 100. Okay, so you can see we have our percent. So if we had 45%, it would be 45 over 100, so we'd put 45 in here. Our is above of, so that's a saying that you're going to want to remember. Is above of. Okay, is at the top can also be known as the part, and of is known as the whole. Okay. Now, if we have 25% of 40, saying 25% of 40 is what number? You can see it's 25%, and so they change that to their fraction. So they have 25 over 100. Okay, so that's our step one that I'm going to write up here. So step one is convert percent to fraction. Okay, my second step is to figure out what am I missing. Am I missing is, or am I missing of, or am I missing the part or the whole? Okay, for these examples, I'm going to look at it as is or of, okay? So it says 25% of 40, okay? Because 40 comes right after of, that means our of is 40, okay? To find your of or your is, you have to find what's following the word, okay? So of 40. So 40 is going to replace of, okay, which is what we did here. So we put 40 on the bottom. And then it says, is what number, okay? So there's not an actual number following is, which means that is what we are missing. So we are looking for what number it is, okay? So step two is find what we are missing. Okay, so we found that we're missing the is, okay, which is our part. So we put an X at the top because that's what we're trying to solve for. Okay, and then our final step, step 3, is to cross multiply. Okay, and I'll explain how to do that. Okay, so we have our problem set up. Now we need to cross multiply because we converted our percent to a fraction and we found what we're missing. We're missing the is or the part, which is x. Okay, so we're going to cross multiply, which means we multiply diagonally. Okay, so we are going to do 40 times 25. So I'm going to write that over here. So 40 times 25. You can see this was an equal sign, so I'm going to set them equal to each other, and it's going to be 40, or not 40, sorry. So we already did 40 times 25. This will be 100 times x. Okay. Now, these are set equal to each other, so now we need to actually solve the problem. So our first step is to do 40 times 25, which is 1,000. So we have 1,000 equals 100 times x. We are solving for x, and so we need to get x all by itself. Okay, so we're going to divide 100 because we were going to multiply 100x. So we're going to divide 100. And we have 1,000 divided by 100 equals x. 1,000 divided by 100 is 10. So 10 equals x. And that is our answer. Okay? So that shows that 25% of 40 is 10. So when I come across these questions, the first thing I look at is my answer going to be bigger or greater than the original number? Okay, so on this one, if I had 100% of 20, then I would have 20, okay? Because say I have 20 chocolate bars, if I give 100% of them to my friend, I got rid of all of them. I got rid of all 20. Okay, so 100% of 20 is 20. So I know that since 90% is pretty close to 100%, my answer is going to be kind of close to 20. It should be, okay? So my first step, convert percent to fraction, okay? So it says 90%, so I'm going to do 90 over 100, because it's all, percent is always over 100. Then I have of 20, okay? I can see that I have of, and 20 is following it. So my of is 20, and there's no is, so it means I'm missing is. So I put my x on my top where is goes, or the part. Okay? So now I converted my percent to my fraction. I found what we're missing, and now I need to cross multiply. So I'm going to do 90 times 20, because we're multiplying diagonally. I'm going to multiply 100 and x. So we have 90 times 20 equals 100 times x. I know that 90 times 20 is 1,800. And then I have 100 times x. So then I need to get x by itself, so I need to divide on both sides. So I have 1,800 divided by 100. I can cancel out the zeros, and I'd have 18 divided by 1, which is 18 equals x. Okay, so like I said, since 90% is close to 100%, I knew that my answer was going to be close to 20, and it was. Okay, so we got 18. Okay. On this next step, in the second problem, my first step is to convert the percent to fraction. 75% as a fraction is 75 over 100. Then I need to find what I'm missing. Okay, so it has the of. 32 is following that. And so my of is 32. And my x is on top in place of the is, because that is what I'm missing. So I'm going to cross multiply. I do 75 times 32, and 100 times x. So 75 times 32 equals 100 times x. Okay, so 75 times 32 is 2,400. And that equals 100x. I need to get x by itself, so I'm going to divide 100 on both sides. I'm going to cancel out the zeros, and I have 24 divided by 1, which is 24. And that's my final answer for that question. Okay? So it's all about following the steps. So converting your percent to a fraction, finding what you're missing, and then cross multiplying. So number 3 says the width of a rectangular room is 80% of its length, which is 15 feet. What is the area of the room? Okay. So we have a rectangle. It says the width is 80% of its length, which is 15 feet. Okay, so we know the length is 15 feet. And so up here I'm going to cross out its length, and I'm going to put 15 feet, because I know that that's the length of it, okay? So the width of a rectangular room is 80% of 15 feet. So I'm looking for the width, and then it's asking what is the area of the room. So first I need to find the width. Okay? I know that it's 80% of 15 feet, which is the length. So first I'm going to convert my percent to my fraction. 80% is 80 over 100. And I need to find what I'm missing. So the width of a rectangular room is 80% of 15 feet. So I have my of, and it's 15 feet. So 15 is going to go on the bottom. My x is going to go on top in place of the part. Okay. Now I'm just going to cross multiply and solve. I have 80 times 15 equals 100 times x. Okay, so we have 80 times 15, which is 1200, equals 100 times x. So then I have 1200 divided by 100. Cancel out the zeros. We have 12 divided by 1. Let me divide it on that side too. So we have 12 equals x. And that's our answer. Okay, so our width is 12, but our question is asking, what is the area of the room? Okay, I know from last chapter that the formula for a rectangle is A equals base times height, or A equals length times width. So I need to do A equals length times width. Our length is 15, and our width is 12. 15 times 12 is 180 feet squared. And that is my final answer. Okay, so sometimes you're going to have to figure out what, it's not always just going to be the of that's missing. Sometimes it may be the is. Okay, so if we move over to this side, give me 1 second. I'm going to finish the rest of the notes in this next video.